Welcome back on Good Morning Artesia. As I think we got the internet back up and working on our video computer. We're on YouTube and we're on our website and we're recording it, so we'll post our interview segments up to the Facebook page a little bit later on today. But it is Lineman Appreciation Month. Is that what it is, Raelynn? The whole month, or today, or the week?
We celebrate the whole month, yeah, but today is recognized as Lineman Appreciation Day. It's the second Monday in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Started by Hallmark as a means of selling more cards. I'm sure. Well, who did you bring? We're from CVE, and who did you bring with you today?
So today I brought Lance Velasquez, and he has worked for CVE for 14 years, and Art Ortega, and he's been with the co-op for 28 years.
And Art, you just celebrated your anniversary with CVE.
Yes, sir. April the 4th was my 28th year here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I think there's a pin or something that...
I got a few pins.
You got a few of those.
I'd like to get probably a couple more.
Well, of course.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure they'll love to have you there.
Yeah.
Well, Art, why don't we start with you? Tell us about your family, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm going to start off with my mom and dad, Paul and Gloria Ortega. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be right here. They taught me a lot about hard work, and that's what this job takes, is a lot of hard work.
Okay.
And they're both passed away, but I think about them every day and thank them every day, and I thank God every day for blessing me with my parents. And I have 3 kids, my oldest daughter, Calix, my youngest daughter, Kenley, and I have a son, AJ, and 2 grandkids, Mila Ray Gonzalez, which is today is her 8th birthday. Oh. Happy birthday, Mila, from Grandpa. And my grandson, Nolan. They're both Calix's kids. And my beautiful wife, Anita, she works down at the hospital. And she's she was real surprised on how much it takes to work at the co-op like that and how much time we spend away from our family and stuff on call-outs. And I enjoy it, though. I enjoy it. My kids, they've seen it all their lives. Calix she just got off of our insurance plan because she's 26 years old now.
That's another anniversary day you remember, right?
Yes, and that's a good thing about the co-op. You know, they supported me, my kids, and they took care of us, and it's a wonderful place to work, and I wouldn't give none of it back. I just enjoy it, and like I said, it's an awesome place to work, Gene.
Fantastic. Lance, introduce your family. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my parents are Raul and Felicia Velasquez. My mom taught first grade for, I think, 17 years. They went to the middle school and back down to kindergarten. She ended up probably having 33 years total. And then my dad, he worked at the refinery as an operator and then went back to the warehouse, and they both just retired within the last year or two, and now they're enjoying life. My wife is Angelica Velasquez. A lot of people know her by Sugar. That's been her nickname since she was a little kid. And,
wow.
Yeah. She worked for Dr. Moreno for, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years or so. Then we decided to start a family of our own, and I got one daughter who's in the first grade. She's 7 years old. She'll be 7 in June. Sorry. Her name's Olivia. And then our youngest one, she just turned 3, and her name's Liana.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
a couple of youngins.
Yeah.
Right. And you've been with the CVE for 14 years.
Yes, 14 years.
Okay.
Didn't realize it'd been that long, but yeah. Time goes by quick.
You didn't get the pin?
No. Well, I've gotten a few. I'll be getting another one, I guess, here in the next year or so, right?
Yeah. You should.
That's right. You should. That's right. So, Lance, in your case, was this your first career, your first job out of college or whatever?
Well, I went to college for a year in Portales right after I graduated. Decided school wasn't for me, and then I worked probably 2 or 3 years at Terry's Electronics, and was good friends with Coach Maupin and everybody else going to school together and stuff. And Terry hired me and another guy that works at CV as well. We worked there for a few years, and then tore my ACL playing flag football, and had to spend some time off, and decided it was time for me to find a good career path, and CVE I got lucky,
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed it being here.
So
been a lot
you
of fun.
had to leave Terry's because of the torn ACL, and he closed the store after that? Is that...
Shortly after, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we delivered furniture and, stuff, and then, once I tore my ACL, he was like, I'll keep you on the insurance, until your whole thing's done, which I was, really grateful for, because that would have been a huge expense, but... So he helped me out quite a bit, and then I just decided, time for me to find something a little more stable and stuff. So when I did start a family, I was going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Art, did you have a career before CVE, or has this been your career?
Well, I graduated in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work in the oil fields on the pulling unit for a few months, and my dad said, hey, they're hiring out their refinery for shutdown. You might go give that a shot. And a lot of people get good outcomes from being on the contract crew. I was on the contract crew till 94, so I was there for 4 years. And then I met a lot of good people at the refinery. I met most of our teachers at the refinery, and that probably was my doorstep into getting in CV. I met Byron Ironmonger and had some friends that worked at CV, and Byron said, hey, Dad wants to interview you, and went for an interview, and I got on, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. So what do you do right now? I know you're a lineman, but what does that entail? What are some of your regular...
We're troubleshooters.
Okay.
We're the ones that when you lose your power, you call dispatch, and they call us. Or if you can't get a hold of dispatch, the phone's set up to go to Lance's phone, and he wakes me up in the middle of the night, and we come there to power on. And there's sometimes we can get some good sleep and go through almost the whole weekend, and boom, there's that phone call.
Yeah.
And we troubleshoot, and there's a whole lot to it. I'm used to the line crew, where it's all construction. Over here, it's a different story. You get chased by dogs. You got some customers that ain't pretty happy to see us sometimes. We're the ones that have to go give the door tags out. We have to do the disconnects, and there's yard lights are ongoing deal there.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature don't care for nobody, especially when the hail comes around.
We have quite a bit of daily duties where we trim trees. We fix yard lights, like you said, change meters out. We just pretty much kind of do everything there is.
Well,
A little construction here and there.
If we have high bills that we want to go out and talk to members about their bill, then these are the guys that we call to meet us out there, and they help us kind of troubleshoot that aspect of it as well. So
It can be anything. It can be from their breakers in their house to us having good voltage and them not having half their power in their house. Times have changed at the co-ops since I've been there. The meters are smarter. They can take a reading. They can send it to the office. They can also call the office and tell us they don't have no power. We can actually go out and turn people's power on in the middle of the night while they never even know we're there, and turn their power back on. And just the other day, we did that to a rancher the other day. He never even knew we were there. Cat got in his transformer, re-energized it. He never knew we were there. I got a call the other morning, fixed up an irrigation well. I'm leaving the farm, and the ranchers want to know, what are you doing here? I said, you got to turn your power back on. He goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, AMI called it in. So
our meters tend to call before the customer does, so it's
Wow.
They've gotten pretty advanced.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the one guy probably found out when he couldn't find the cat. That's when he probably figured out there was a problem.
Well, we found out later that they're not cat lovers, so we think his dog chased him.
Chased it up a pole.
Oh, but we see a lot of that. A lot of raccoons and stuff like that. That's pretty much the
other day we had 2 squirrels in 2 days on the same pole.
Yes.
So cotton orchards.
Yeah. 100 trees. It wants to climb our bank pole.
Yeah.
There must be something about the wood used
Yeah,
in
I guess so.
poles as opposed to the pecan trees. So I bet it's kind of nerve-wracking and kind of exhilarating, though, when there's Mother Nature tears up something, then you've really got to get out there and figure out what's going on and then get the power back on as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's hard. It gets tiring at nighttime, but it's also gratifying once you do finally get somebody's power back on. And, we have people that send letters. We've had people send, gift baskets of snacks and things like that to us. So, people really do appreciate when we do get their stuff back on after a long night of being out. So.
Yeah, and that's and you have to have a lot of training because
yes,
you can't just walk up and stick the two wires together. I mean, there's a lot of safety concerns and other things that you have to be aware of, right?
Yes, we have a program called the Merchants Program that we go through, and it's 4 years long. You take one test every month for 10 months, I believe, and then you have a final at the end. But that kind of helps prepare you a little bit, for stuff that goes on. But the real training is, I was on the crew for 3 years, and we'll, practice climbing at lunchtime, things like that. And then we go to a school for a week, get certified to climb. But a lot of the training just comes out in the field, being out there, seeing what's going on, and then learning from a lot of the older guys while you're there.
Yeah, hear that, Art? You're an older guy.
I am, Gene. And you know what? I've enjoyed every minute of it. That's what keeps the fire going inside of Lineman is watching the gratitude of the customers and the kids. Just you put a smile on their face and just like, man, they're just so happy and just so. So when we have disasters like this, we get asked to go on these calls like this. I've been on 6 of them. I worked an ice storm for the Farmers Electric down in Santa Rosa. Worked one for XL in Pampa, Texas, and worked one in Cloudcroft. We had our little one here. Well, went down to Hurricane Rita down in Livingston, Texas, and worked for Livingston Electric. We was there probably 9 days. That was probably the toughest one with the humidity and stuff like that. But I mean, we love this kind of stuff. That's where you get your fire from being a lineman. Mm-hmm. And then I've even got some friends down in Hereford. They've asked me. They have a contract crew. They've asked me, hey, you want to come work an ice break with us? Like, well, I got a lot of vacation days. Let me ask if I can take off. And I took off, and I actually went down to Oklahoma and worked for Tri-County Electric and some contractors for 9 days. That was the other side of the co-op. Mm-hmm. I see how the co-op works, and I got to work with contractors. And I tell you what, those guys get paid by the unit. They don't get paid by the hour. So it's pretty awesome. And just, I mean, I think my storm days might be over with, but it's hard to say no because my kids would always ask me, where are you going, Dad? I said, because there's little kids like you that don't got the power.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go turn their power back on.
Wow, that is that's great. Art, you've been there 28 years, and you mentioned how you got started at CVE, but did you have some mentors when you first started that really helped you along?
Golly. I never knew I was going to be doing this. I come from hard labor, picking chili, worked in cotton fields. I bought my first pair of Nike Air Jordans in the 8th grade, paid for my own school clothes and stuff back then. And so it would have to be my parents would be the ones for, they're my mentors for making me the person that I am. My brother-in-law. I had a hard brother-in-law. He stayed on my butt for a reason. His name was Jesus Lavario. And he's one of my main mentors. He taught me a lot, and I guarantee if it wasn't some of the stuff that he taught me, I wouldn't be here either. So,
Lance, do you have any mentors at CVE or that kind of helped you when you first started there?
Oh, when I first started at CVE, yeah, this guy for sure. He helped me quite a bit. He knows a good way to teach, the new guys coming up. And then Nick Rodriguez, who passed away a few years ago, but yeah, when I first started, he was the first guy I rode with for a little bit.
Okay, can you hold that thought?
Yes, sir.
We need to go to the news real quick. Can they stick around for a few? Or okay. Hey, we're going to come